Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and a massive welcome to everyone who's joining us. How is everyone doing? We're going to give people a few minutes to join and then get started. So please get warmed up, grab your teas and coffees, and we'll be right on track. If you've been here before, you know what to expect. We're on our third and final masterclass of not just your usual webinar, but actually where you will learn and in a more practical way of how to do things and how to build stuff. So very excited for today. Welcome back to everyone. A quick reiterating of if you haven't been here before, all of this series, including the first two that you missed, and all of our other supplementary material that you need to get your diploma and your certificates will be available in our application. And you need to join that to watch this later on or be able to consult or your notes and refer back to it as well. So I've just popped a chat link in there for our sign up portal. You will have a code there that you can enter to join and enroll a part of this series. So click the link there. And again, of course, a lot of you might already be familiar with Cubicle or already are on Cubicle to do our other standard e-learning. In that case, you can reach out to our support and success team separately to make this series available for you. This specific series is for people, the link that I shared is for people that might not be on the application so far. So another few minutes, we're giving our friends time to join. And again, welcome. So of course, just to recap and retouch on everything that we've been doing here, this is our third and final masterclass on all of the series where we talk through advanced AI subject matter. What we're going to be doing in this session is take a further deeper look into Gen AI capabilities, some of the lessons that we learned in the previous masterclass. I looked at the exciting agenda for today, loads of very cool stuff going from image generation to even building a custom GPT very easily. We touch on some fine tuning stuff on Hugging Face and then go into the buzzword of what has been spoken about loads, the agentic era and agent AI. So buckle up. We're joined by Shubham, of course, who is deeply involved in AI research, lecturer, industry expert who specializes in AI intelligence. A huge reason why we're doing this series is, as you can imagine, if a few of us were here before, so much changed just between our first and our second webinar. I'm also really excited to hear what has changed since our second and third webinar. And it just goes back to showing us the importance of why we are doing this in an instructor-led fashion, why it's necessary to take a break from just doing your self-led e-learn or just doing your own research and to get an expert to contextualize all of the quickly changing landscape contexts of here. So a very quick mention also to the sponsor of our webinar series, Academies Plus. And all of you, of course, know us for our industry-leading e-learning, but we are now, especially with AI literacy, starting to see more and more need to learn about the quick changes very quickly with our webinar series. So again, just to show you what our application looks like, Shubham, if you want to move to the next slide for me. Once you click on the sign up code and link that I've shared in the chat, you will be enrolled in our whole series. The last two webinars are available there to watch on demand. You can also watch our e-learning theory lessons that obviously is our main offering. And just as part of the entire series, when you finish that, you will be awarded with a Cubicle diploma, which is imperatively important in today's day and age. So make sure you are on the application so that we are able to get your name and information to give you access to that diploma. So without further ado, I'm going to hand it back to the man himself and thank him so much for his time. Welcome, Shubham. Excited to hear what you have for us today.
Yeah, thanks, Anukriti. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to the final webinar, the third webinar. I have so much to show you today. We're going to dive into custom GPTs. We're going to dive in the agentic era because I think everybody is launching something where no code is needed and people can develop AI apps. More than that, we're going to look into the actual way people would be able to use AI. I would be ending this webinar by showing why AI literacy would be more important than ever. by sharing certain articles as well. So before further ado, let's dive in. Um, okay, so since we last spoke, as I mentioned, this is a space that is innovating at a much, much faster way compared to any other innovation that we have seen so far. Since we last spoke, companies have launched their future models, their newer models. For example, OpenAI launched their O3 and O4 mini model. Last time when we used OpenAI and ChatGPT, the latest model that OpenAI was using was O1 model. And in terms of mini, they were using O3 mini model. O3 model is the market's most intelligent AI model right now. It's so intelligent that O3 model will think before answering, but in thinking, this is the first time ever a model can think using images. A model will be able to do a lot more analysis, and there are certain complex questions that O1 couldn't solve, but O3 does a much better job in solving those. To give you an example, if you look into this math problem, the math problem was a complex math problem, and when OpenAI O1 model was asked about solving this problem, the answer it provided was incorrect. So the answer it provided was this, whereas O3 solved it correctly by providing the exact value and exact answer. The math is not just the only area where O3 works really well. It also works well in business use cases when you really want to solve a complex question step by step. For example, if you have a question like this, I own a boutique hotel chain with locations in Lisbon, Berlin, and London. I plan to expand into a new country in Europe and city in Asia in 2026. So tell me what factors, such as tourism growth, seasonal occupancy patterns, and local economic indicators, best predict success. I want to be ahead of the curve and be in the next hot city before others. Pull regional travel data. So it does that using the web, economic statistics, and hotel occupancy rates. Analyze trends visually. So that means it has to implement code. So this O3 model in thinking would be able to implement code as well and recommend ideal expansion locations. Now, how would O1 handle it? O1 would just think about it. It doesn't search the web, it doesn't implement anything else, and just give you an insight based on its own knowledge. Okay, it just gives you insights based on your open data, no facts, no statistics as well. It gives you Python code that you could use yourself to create that chart and plot that data, but not the actual chart itself. Let's look into O3. O3 has searched 22 searches and found 58 sources that are relevant. It searched the web, right, multiple times, as you can see. And it also created certain charts by executing Python code, and these are the charts it created. And then whatever insights it has given you, all these insights are coming from relevant sources, and the numbers are much better than O1 model. It gives you key steps, key statistics, which are actually going to be useful in decision making. Unlike O1 model that were just coming from the model's knowledge, this comes from statistics. This comes from data, and which is where O3 model does a much, much better job in complex analysis. So it can do the same in science, it can do the same in sports, right? And also visual reasoning. So you can give it something like this. I've seen number four, output a planning that will make sure I see all attractions and shows, taking into account their duration and a 10-minute buffer between each show. So this list contains the list of shows and timings. It analyzes the images and it gives you a schedule. Yeah, and let's see the final schedule. So this is the final schedule. On the other hand, O1 model would just simply give you a schedule right away with no analysis, and this will have mistakes as well. Okay, so this launched. Now, also OpenAI launched something known as Codex CLI. So basically, it's an agent, AI agent. You just have to provide it a command, and it will autonomously in the background write code for you. I will be exploring this thing more in the later slides. Okay, so there were also other innovations. DeepSeek, I'm pretty sure all of you have heard about DeepSeek model. DeepSeek launched their next version as well, which is known as DeepSeek V2 Prover model. DeepSeek had a new model, and then it's much better. It's better in math and it's better in coding as well. So DeepSeek had a silently launched model again. Grok also launched a new model. Grok I'm not sure if anybody knows this, but Grok basically has a chatbot application like this. Over here, you can use the latest model Grok 3, but Grok is supposed to be launching 3.5 for plus users, people who are paid. But the best part about Grok model, is it has personas, it has deep research that you can try out even as a free user. You can also use its thinking capability. When it comes to personas, it has somebody like an unhinged comedian, loyal friend. Now, because no AI company can say that we have this AI doctor, which is why when it gives you medical advices, it has to say that it's not a doctor. And very intelligently, Elon Musk has mentioned that, yeah, it is not a doctor, but if you click on this, you can basically ask for medical advices. But legally, it is not a doctor, right? So Grok is a platform that everybody can use to get better answers, try it out, because you don't need to pay a subscription to use this functionality. Similarly, another company that launched a model was Quen. Um, yeah, so Quen launched Quen 3. Quen 3 is a significant model, and we can look into it using this. We can check it out using this platform. So all you have to do is literally go into chat.quen.ai. And if you go into chat.quen.ai, you can basically access the latest model Quen 3. Quen 3 has two variants, a 235 billion parameters model versus a 30 billion parameters model. Okay. Um, 235 billion parameter model is a reasoning model. Now, if you ask me the comparison of this reasoning model, how good is it? O3 is the best, then comes Quen 3, and then comes O1. But O1 was a paid model as well, and some company to have a better model than O1, it has to be good, and O3 is that level. The best part about O3, the best part about Quen is they don't have a subscription. So every model, everything that you want to try is completely free to use. You don't have to pay any charges, and everybody can try out some really intelligent models for free. Okay. Um, yeah, so these were some recent innovations. But there was one innovation that was out of the box, very interesting. Most of you might have already used it, and that is known as ChatGPT 4.0 image generation. So now with ChatGPT, even as a plus user or a free user, you can generate images. These images generations, I mean, people are generating images, but all I'm seeing people generate is simply filters like Ghibli trend, adding a new studio trend, and so on, converting your image to a toy box. But it's not only that. There's so much more this can do. For example, if you provide it with a detailed description, and a description is a wide image taken of with a phone of a glass whiteboard in a room overlooking the Bay Bridge, the field of view shows a woman writing, sporting a t-shirt with a large OpenAI logo. The handwriting looks natural and a bit messy, and we see the photographer's reflection. The text on the board should read exactly like this. Okay, and on the bottom right, she draws a diagram which is this. This exact thing is being analyzed and created into an image. So this is the guy with the phone in his hand overlooking the Bay Bridge. The reflection is seen in the whiteboard, and all the text that was mentioned is right here. And I can change it with follow-up prompts. Now I need a selfie view of a photographer as she turns around to high five him. And there you go. All of this completely fake. All of this entirely synthetic, doesn't really exist. But not only this, you can use ChatGPT for things like a meaningful word. For example, you can have a picture of yourself as well and ask it to add lines into your picture, or you can create a comic strip. So you can ask AI to create a comic strip about what you want. You can also ask AI to help you understand a science experiment by creating illustrations. So you can just say, "Can you give me an infographic explaining Newton's prism experiment in great detail?" And it does that. Okay. Um, yeah, and you can ask more questions. It'll keep refining the images and you can get an answer. So education wise, presentation wise, you can get images which are going to be very, very useful when you use ChatGPT's image generation. Now, this image generation model is very, very, very advanced and it was trained on world's data. Now, to give you a simple answer on what is that world's public data, think about this. If I search for a specific place, let's say what I search for is Wicklow Mountains. Okay. If I search something like this, I will be shown photos on Google, right? All these photos are used to train the model. You can literally search any place. I can just search city center, Dublin. If I search this, I'm also shown more photos, and all these photos were also used to train the model. So any publicly available photos were all used to train the image generation model. It is so robust that if you have seen Google Maps and if you've seen Street View, it also used the entire Street View data to train the models. Because of which, something very, very interesting as well as bizarre has happened with 4O image generation. And what's that? So that is where you can use ChatGPT now for reverse location search. Basically, what it can do is all you have to do is upload an image like this. So can you guess where in the world this is? Just using that image, because AI knows and remembers where this image was from, it can guess your location. Now, again, this is a very simple example. AI can also give you exact coordinates, exact latitudes and longitudes. So there you go. So where am I? And it tells the user that you're currently, it was shot in Arizona, and these are your latitudes and longitudes. Why? Because it knows this place. It knows this place from public images. It can tell you all this answer. Think about how much information is there private. Have you ever searched your name on the internet? If you have, is it possible that your photo can come up? Is it possible that any public information about you can come up? If it can, then AI certainly knows about it. Although ChatGPT has filters where it doesn't really speak about a specific person unless they are a big well-known celebrity or a politician, but they won't really speak about an individual person, right? But it's really to think about how much data the current models are using to train themselves. And if it keeps going on this way, everything, even, I mean, this is something that people would still do, but they would require extensive reverse location search, extensive research, but not anymore. Anybody, you can just literally walk outside your house, take a picture, ask ChatGPT to find out where you are, and you can notice the responses, right? So yeah, all this came out since our last webinar. So if so much can come out between a month, imagine how much would come out by the end of this year. Okay. Um, okay. So then let's move on. As I mentioned, 2025 and also in the last month, we have made a lot of progress in an area known as the agents era. I don't know if all of you remember the topic from the first webinar. We discussed 5 levels of OpenAI, but I can repeat that again. OpenAI 5 levels AGI. And essentially, if you search something like this, you can come across an image, and the image will kind of look like this. And these are the 5 levels that Sam Altman mentioned AI possesses. This is not really good quality, but this is good quality. So, level 3 is essentially agents, right? And we are currently at level 3. Agents are something that could do your work autonomously without any human intervention. Programming has become one such field over the past month, which has got massive, massive attention, which is you being able to do code without using any knowledge on programming or programming languages. There are certain platforms that allow you to do that. For example, there's this company known as Vercel. Vercel is a company that will allow you to create a product just by using prompts. And this is what it looks like. Yeah. But now, I mean, anybody can use it. All you have to do is go to v0.dev. And if you go to this website, you can see websites that people have created just by writing the prompts. Now, for example, if I open up this one, um, yeah. So this is a website created. Well, there is an error in the website as well. Okay, let me open up a different one. Mm, oh yeah, this looks interesting. Okay, so this is a website that somebody has created using Vercel. So all you could do is check out your menu, click on aspects and click on dine in as well, and they could further refine it too. But this entire UI was generated by Vercel. The best part about Vercel is all of you can try it out for free, and they give everybody 10 chat requests free every single day. So you can ask 10 questions and ask it to build something yourself without really writing any piece of code. For example, I can ask Marcel, can you help me create a website for cubicle webinar series where people can come in and record attendance, as well as they should have a forum where they can add a discussion topic, right? The theme should be glass effect, and very modern, right? So I just do this. Marcel goes ahead and thinks about what I've asked it to do, right? It goes ahead and creates a plan for me. So this is the project section, this is the plan, and then it starts coding. Once it starts coding, it'll I mean take some time and then finally finish coding and show me a preview. It gives me 10 follow-up questions in a single day for free, but if you need more, you need to get a premium subscription. But so far, Vercel has been really great. And the best part is if you develop and create a website, you can deploy it for free without any charges and share this with your peers, with your company, with your users as well. Okay. So by the time it is working, I just want to show you other companies as well that do a similar thing without showing you a demo. Lovable.dev is another company that does this. Lovable is famous because they recently updated their future version. Now, for example, they could do bigger websites, a dashboard that kind of looks like this, right? You have a sign-in option, update option, YouTube option, create option, right? A promo code, limited time offer, right? And all these things. So you can literally create bigger websites with Lovable. Lovable recently launched their next version and show you the link as well. Um, yeah. So Lovable recently launched Lovable 2.0, and yeah, and this is what it looks like. Yeah. So basically, Lovable is a better application than Breezy, because it could do more advanced things. But pricing wise, it has a limited free request that you can send every single day. It has a paid plan as well. But if anybody was interested in creating something on their own, completely without any help from a programmer, then Lovable should be your go-to if you want to create production level applications. Let's see what we it created, and there you go. So finally have this website. Let's start creating recording attendance. So I can type in your name. I can just say John Doe as well, just as mentioned, abc at example.com. Select the webinar. So yeah, I had, as I mentioned, it just randomly added this data, but I can ask it to change it later and record attendance. So the attendance had been recorded. Go back to home, um, and then look into attendance section. Yeah, I should probably add a table that shows me attendance as well, and join discussion. So I can click on any. Maybe I can like it. I can Yeah, I can add more features. So my next prompts would be add a new discussion topic or reply to an existing discussion topic. I can just say test, post topic, and there you go. All this with no coding in less than 5 minutes while I was speaking with you. And I can go back, yeah, close this, and it looks like this. And I can look and download its entire code as well on how this website was created, right? So what's also changing this agentic era are development tools like Cursor. Cursor is a company. It's like a development environment. It's a software that you can use, but basically when you download it, there's going to be a chatbot on the right, and you can ask this chatbot to do things for you. For example, you can ask it, Can you, yeah, create this page for me, add a sign up page, add this page, change this. And Cursor allows engineers who already know coding to be more efficient because now they can ask AI to code it themselves, and they can accept or reject the suggestions provided by AI. So agentic IDEs, which is interactive development environments, integrated development environments, are really the next generation applications that engineers are going to be using as well. Microsoft just recently accepted. I'll show you this thing as well that Microsoft accepted. Um, yeah. So there was this recent event at LlamaCon 2025. I'm also going to paste this link in the chat. Um, but basically, in this event, they openly accepted how much code is written by AI in their companies already. Yeah, so 50% of the development.
Sorry,
Uh,
Chugam, I think we were not sharing audio, so we missed a little bit, but I can help answer that. Satya Nadella there
yeah,
mentions that 20 to 30% of his code is actually written by AI, which
yeah.
is a massive number for Microsoft.
And also reshare my screen with audio so that this doesn't happen again. Okay. But anyways, the link is in the chat. You can hear about it. I think Anukriti exactly mentioned what the video was about. Yeah, so 30% of the code at Microsoft is already written by AI. And Meta expects in the next 2 years, 50% of the code will be written by AI. And several other companies accept this as well, which also justifies why companies are announcing new layoffs. Microsoft announcing PIP plans and voluntary exit from their employees as well. And then Google announced 10% job cuts in their managerial roles. And I think it's going to continue because of the agentic AI era. Okay. All right. So moving on, let's look into the aspect where how about not using these tools for creating AI apps, but simply creating an AI agent using ChatGPT. Now, I have the steps outlined in a handout, and this handout will be shared with you in the Cubicle platform as well. So the Cubicle platform will have this already that includes detailed instructions on how you should be creating this GPT chatbot, right? So what we are going to do is just go into ChatGPT. Now, all you need to ensure is that you are a plus user, or I'm not sure about the free users if they can do it, but if you can see Explore GPT's option on your ChatGPT account, what you will see is a create button on ChatGPT. So let's say I'm a company that sells a product. I I have a data set that I want to use, and there's this customer support data set that I found on Hugging Face. So I'm going to just go and open up the data set. So this is the link of the data set. Again, I'm going to paste this in the chat. Now, basically, what this data set contains is it contains questions and answers it should provide to those questions. For example, how can I create an account? So this is simple FAQ data set. So to create an account, you should follow these instructions. What payment methods I can use? So use these payment methods. How can I track my order? So there are similarly all such questions. What is the price adjustment policy? Do you have a loyalty program? Can I order without creating an account? So all these questions have been identified and extracted. So what you can do, and you just have to go to files and versions when you go to this link and just simply download this data, train expanded.json. Now, I think to show this, I should be sharing my entire screen because I want to show you iterative changes. So let me just reshare my entire screen. And there you go. So you'll now see my entire screen. So basically what you could do is download this entire data set. So by clicking on this button, it will download your entire data set. Once you download this, it will be stored in your files, right? Now, what you could do is open this data set, which is a JSON file in Excel. So how could you do that? So let's say you just simply right click on your dataset file that you just recently downloaded and open that data in Excel file. So when you open this in Excel file, this is what it's going to look like. So I've just opened Excel and this is what it looks like. Okay, it has question, it has answer. all now, what if I do this? I go to ChatGPT, right? I create a ChatGPT. I can use the functionality here, like the name, or I can use chat to fine tune my ChatGPT. So I have the custom instructions here as well. So all you have to do is literally upload the facts and everything. But I want to name my ChatGPT. So I want to name my ChatGPT. So MarkTech is the name of the company who owns this data set. So I'm just going to say this is my customer support agent. So I'm just going to name it customer support agent. Yeah. And what it does, it I mean, this is an FAQ chatbot for customer Q&A and other queries. Okay, so a description of what this model does. Now I can add instructions, but instructions have to be detailed. So I can just say answer questions precisely and correctly. If you don't have the answer in your in the database, then don't answer. So basically, I'm going to upload my data, which is the JSON file we just downloaded. So what I can just do is upload my file and find out the data. So let's see where my data is. Okay, so I'm going to now attach the JSON file that we were just speaking about. Okay, no, I'm not sure where it is gone. So I'm just searching this on my computer. So the name of the file was that downloaded was train underscore expanded.json. So should be yeah, I'm just going to put it into a different folder. Yeah, I mean the file looks like this that I'm aware of. One second. Okay. So yeah, basically, if I have this data in my folder, um, copy and paste. Okay. So yeah, I can open up the file again and just search for it on my computer wherever it is, and I found it, and I can upload it directly to this attachment. So there you go. You will see train expanded.json. Now I have the file here. Basically, once this is uploaded, I just want to disable this because I don't want people to be generating images from my chatbot. I don't want people to use Canvas. I don't want people to web search using my chatbot. Okay, and that's pretty much it. So then what I could do is it's created. All its instructions are gone. So I can ask questions like, "What is your return policy?" But as you mentioned, my prompt is still not correct. Your prompt should be very good and detailed, searching our knowledge. And based on the knowledge, our return policy allows you to return products within 30 days of purchase for a full refund as long as they're in the original condition and packaging. So it extracted this from your data, and from your data, it gave you this answer. I can also ask it for citations. So can you also cite, um, yeah, here, can you also cite the exact line number for the answer, right? So basically, I just want to know which line they are referring to, right? The model is referring to, and I can ask this question again. What are your return policies? I go ahead. Now, basically, it shouldn't work because this is a JSON format. For lines to work, but yeah, it still work. It should be line. It is line 4 in our file. So in line 4, we talk about what our return policy is. And this is how easy it is to create a custom GPT. Now you can further fine tune it. So I have the instructions here in this one here as well. Basically, you can create a description. You can use the browser, um, and I have also added the prompt here that I want you to use. So what you could do is write instructions clearly. So this is your instructions. This is a very good prompt. You are MarTech Support Pro. Your primary function is to assist users by providing answers from the uploaded FAQ file. Always maintain a friendly and concise tone in your responses. When you answer a question, you must cite the specific line number or relevant section from the FAQ document. If a question falls outside the scope of your provided FAQ, politely apologize and inform the user that you cannot answer this question. You can also add prompt starters, like what is your return policy? How do I reset my password? And then you can also fine tune it. So you can just say, yeah, something like this, right? So I can just say in the create, because I don't even need to fill the form. I can just say here something like this. Make sure you always quote the answer verbatim from the FAQ unless the user specifically asks for summary. So when I do that, it reads this information and adds them by updating my chat GPT. So it's constantly fine tuning my GPT to be better and then understanding what I'm looking for. But and you will see this. So this is done. If I go to configure again, my instructions have changed. You see this? So basically in fine tuning, it just changes the instructions. And also the description, it changes that as well. It also adds conversation starters automatically when I do this. Once this is created, all you have to do is click on create, right? And I could submit it to GPT Store, or I could just share this with anybody with a link. So if I just click on save, I will get a link very soon. It shouldn't take too much time. It should be a couple of minutes only. And once I get the link, I can share this with anybody, and you should be able to get your answers regarding the chat GPT engine that I spoke about. So basically, I'll just type it in the chat as well, and there's the link. So you can all try chatting with the system, ask about return policies, ask about um, um, yeah, cancellation policies and other questions as well, and it should be able to answer that as if it's the company's official chatbot, right? Um, okay, so this is one way of creating custom chat GPT. But if you work with an organization, this may not be your ideal way. So if there is something like that, you would rely on Hugging Face as well. So Hugging Face is one option. Now, for example, I found a model, right? Let's say I want to use this model, DeepSeek model, the new model that we were just discussing. I can use this model and I can fine tune this model without code directly on Hugging Face as well. So all I have to do is find this model, click on train, click on auto train, and then create a new auto train project. So it'll ask me, yeah, where do I want to create this project? I can just say test, fine tune test, yeah, and keep everything else same. And I basically create a space. Now this space is a free space that Hugging Face will provide me. And essentially what I'm doing here is I'm using DeepSeek and I'm trying to fine tune this model. But again, to even fine tune the model, what you need is questions and answers, responses. So you just need two columns, a question that a user can ask and the expected response from the user. Um, so, and this is all it's needed. So it just needs the data about what you really want the model to understand and fine tune on. While it's building, Hugging Face is not the only place that allows you to do fine tuning. There's other providers as well, and especially if you're working with a company, um, the better alternatives for you would be using AWS Bedrock for fine tuning, and the link is here in the slides as well. Or you could also use Azure if your company uses Azure. But basically, this is how you fine tune a model in AWS Bedrock. If your company uses AWS, you identify models, you create a fine tuning job, and you select a model. Once you select a model, all you need to provide is your prompt and your output. So your question and your answer. And then rest of the things could be handled by Amazon GUI. So instructions on how you can use AWS is also provided in the slides. Azure allows you to fine tune model as well, and specifically with organization, I think these are the two main providers that you would use mostly. Hugging Face is for personal use only because if you're using fine tuning here, so you'll have to sign in with Hugging Face. You have to authorize permissions, right? And once you do this, it'll give you this option. So what model do I want to fine tune? I want to fine tune this model, which is DeepSeek V3 model using a Hugging Face data set. I can specify what data set I want to do that on and just start training. Now, if I start training, it's going to cost me money, which is why I'm not starting this. But I think every provider will charge you money as well. But there's one thing about AWS and Azure that if you create an account, they give you free credits initially. So if there's ever a requirement where you want a model, but it's very specific to what your company does, you can fine tune your models using AWS, Azure, or even Hugging Face if needed. Okay. But the simple solution is just using ChatGPT as a personal user and creating a custom chatbot for yourself, right? Okay, so we've talked about all this. There's also one thing that I didn't share with you. So coming back to the agentic era, AI Firebase from Google also officially launched an AI studio. And this is Firebase AI Studio. Okay. Now, Firebase AI Studio is an official platform provided by Google that anybody can use completely free. So basically, this is the Firebase Studio. It's like V0 Vercel. It's like Lovable and Replit. It currently has faults, so it's not very accurate right now, but still, as a free version, it's still very good. Basically, you can ask it to create a similar thing that you want. So, for example, I can ask it to create the same thing. Help me create a dashboard to record attendance um, using just LLM prompts, and also view attendance for my last 3 webinars. The company name is Cubicle. The design should be glass effect and modern. Okay, I just do this. So I'll start prototyping with AI, just like V0. But again, as I mentioned, they don't have a paid plan. All that they provide is free. One good part is you can use AI features, and to use that, all you have to do is get your Gemini API key. Okay, this link is already in your slides that you will be seeing. Once you generate your API key, you can copy that API key into this project, right? And then this will work away with Gemini. Um, so integrations with Gemini are going to be seamless. Now it's giving me the plan, which is fine. I'm prototyping this app. So now it's going to go ahead and try and code this app. And yeah, so it has started this. Very soon it will finish the job as well. And basically, I would also be able to publish this. What it also does, it will, if I mean, one thing about this platform is if you don't get your API key from this platform, it also has an option to generate the API key inside the platform, but it sometimes works, it sometimes doesn't work, right? But this is a good platform for anybody to just get started with coding using AI. Now, as I mentioned, this is still in beta phase, development phase, so it makes mistake. It's not very robust like Lovable or V0, but probably in very soon in the future, it will be very good as well. Okay. So by the time it's working on this, let's move on to the key elements of our AI. But again, before I move on to so this is the agentic era we're talking about. There was one more website that caught my attention, which was Luma Labs. Luma Labs is something that helps you generate images for free, but it's so advanced. It gives you so much option. For example, you can try it out yourself. And essentially, let's say I want to start a board. So what I can just simply say is I want to create a board, or I can use an existing board as well. Yeah. So how about this? So what I want to do, let's say, is imagine cinematic scenes of some. Yeah, I'll just type this in the chat. Sorry, not this. I'm not sure what I typed in. I wanted to type in this. Yeah, there you go. So now what it's going to do is dream about what I mentioned, and it gives me designs. The best part about this design is when I type in something, it also gives me options. So it'll give me option on what I want to change in cinematic. So do I want to change cinematic to photographic or hyper realistic? Let's say if I change it to hyper realistic, something like this will pop up. It also allows me to change something where I can change this characteristics, I can change this characteristics, I can even change this characteristics. So the way this website imagines things is and helps me imagine is much better than any other provider out there. Um, and now these ones are hyper realistic images compared to the ones that kind of look fake. Okay, and this is Luma Labs. Um, Google, on the other hand, also launched something known as Google Agent Space. Yeah, Google Agent Space allows you to speak and collaborate with the entire Google Suite inside the agent space. And I'll show you this video. Hopefully, you should hear audio this time. Yeah. So you can basically connect all your sources, and the sources could range from, yeah, now this is connected to your email account, which is Outlook, as it can directly try draft something on Outlook and even send that email. So it connects with your apps that you use for work. And then basically any question that you ask, it reads about all those elements and gives you an answer, right? So agent space is one step ahead where it wants to automate your personal data and the way you work and connect all the data and bring it into a single space so that you can speak with your data and answer questions, right? Um, so yeah, this is what the agentic era looks like. More things will come up in the future. But I saw some really interesting things. So, for example, just yesterday, Fiverr's CEO, I'm not sure if everybody knows Fiverr, but Fiverr is a freelancer company. Fiverr's CEO, what he mentioned is he sent his entire staff an email, and this is what his email mentioned. So he posted his email on X as well, and this is what he sent. He sent, here's the unpleasant truth. So I'm only going to read the main elements. AI is coming for your jobs. It's coming for my job too. This is a wake up call. It does not matter if you're a programmer, designer, product manager, data scientist, etc., etc. AI is coming for you. You must understand that what was once considered easy tasks will no longer exist. What was considered hard tasks will be the new easy, and what was considered impossible task will be the new hard. If you do not become an exceptional talent at what you do, a master, you will face the need for a career change in a matter of months. I'm not trying to scare you. I'm not talking about your job at Fiverr. I'm talking about your ability to stay in your profession in the industry, which is why what he wants his staff to do is, yeah, he wants everybody to study, research, and master the latest AI solutions in your field, try multiple solutions, and figure out what gives you superpowers. By superpowers, I mean the ability to generate more outcomes per unit of time. He wants to find the most knowledgeable people on their team who can help you become more familiar with the latest generation and greatest in AI. Time is the most valuable asset. If you're working like it's 2024, you're doing it wrong. You're expected and needed to do faster and more efficiently now. Become a prompt engineer. Google is dead. LLM engineer are the new basics. And if you're not using them as experts, your value will decrease before you know what hit you. So get involved in, I mean, this is not him alone. Everybody is talking about this as well. Just earlier, we talked about this Microsoft CEO and Facebook talking about AI agents and the code written by AI. Duolingo has done a similar thing. So Duolingo has mentioned this in the news that they're going to replace all contract workers with AI. So a place, a job that was done by contractors is now going to be done by AI, right? Shopify has this hiring freeze until AI can't. Yeah, so they have this AI first hiring policy because yeah, Shopify will have a hiring freeze until AI can't do the work. So if AI can't do the work, only then they will hire humans. But for any job, if AI can do that work, they won't hire humans. And this trend is going to continue, which means anybody who's looking into AI, and if you don't have skill in this year, then it's going to be too late because I think everybody is looking into upskilling, and tech CEOs have already made their choice that they're going to prioritize AI to benefit the enterprises and the company. In the Academies Plus course, we describe and discuss all this in much more detail. But yeah, I just wanted to bring this to your attention as well. Uh, yeah, in the meantime, I think I forgot about Firebase Studio, so we gave it an instruction. I just want to see if it did finish the coding because I shut it down. Yeah, this is the attendance tracker. Did it work? Okay, so can I? Yeah, so attendance for Anukriti for all three webinars. Okay. Now again, it's doing something else with AI. Yeah, it's asking me to generate an API key. I can click on auto generate and it should auto generate. But if there's an error, it doesn't generate. You can just go ahead and get an API key yourself. Yeah, it has this error generating it, so I can just go ahead and get my own API key. But look into this. I have an application, right? It has some random templates, examples of people who were in the session, so I can use LLM to ask about their attention details. Um, so yeah, I mean, it did understand my question, but I need to refine my question in a much better way. But the best part is this is free, so I can have not just 10 questions. I could ask many, many, many questions, and then improve it as much as I can, right? So I think that's pretty much what I wanted to address with you in the class. You will see this in Mastercard, well, in the Masterclass section on Academies Plus. I want to hand over to Anukriti to conclude the class as well.
Thank you so much, Shubham. That was super interesting and super exciting. I hope you all were following along because I learned so much. Just to recap, Lovable looked so impressive. Just the developments that we did in Hugging Face. I know I'm going to go back and try all of the image generation myself. And also, thank you for reiterating that this is now the time to focus on AI literacy. It is not something you can postpone or procrastinate because it will be too late, as we're seeing with all of the changes that happen on a week by week and a month on month basis. Um, in line with that, not only is our webinar series crucial for that, we're also producing some really excellent e-learning content to supplement that. So of course, there's a lot of content on Copilot. There's also, I guess, the aspect that you need to think about. Um, legislation and how the EU AI Act, for example, might be setting the global standard for responsible AI. So there's a lot of supplementary learning that form a very like 360-degree understanding of the subject matter that is available on our application. I have shared that link with you all in the chat multiple times. Do sign up on our portal, enter the sign up code and enroll. There's a couple of really cool lessons you can attempt, pass the exam, and then get our own certified cubicle diploma, which again will add to your present AI literacy. I have also shared a poll with you all. I have really, really enjoyed this series, Shubham. Thank you so much for your, continued research and really exciting insights into everything. It would be really nice if all of the listeners on this webinar would also share your feedback. This will not only help us understand more about what you liked and did not like, but also make more of these sessions or similar learning available to you in the near future. So again, a huge thank you once again. All of the resources, including, I think, a couple of cheat sheets and links, and the presentation that Shubham has shared throughout this webinar is also available in our application. So again, thanks again, Shubham, so much. Hope to see you soon and have a good day, everyone. Thank you.
Bye.